Starting to the top left of the map in red, we have the Axiom player down one game against his opponent already in this round of 8 match at the WCS season finals in Korea. It is
Axiom Alicia from America.
The American player up against the full-fledged Korean that is lagging here.
Yep. We'll just wait for this to get fixed. And this is the part where I'm so happy that you're here today, Kaldor. There's nothing harder in the whole world than trying to talk through that when you're solo casting.
I was actually, like, at some point we had a break and I listened to you casting because we have our very own balcony up there, so we had the perfect view. And you were asking yourself questions. That was the most adorable thing that I've ever seen. That was really epic.
I do that sometimes. That wasn't just because I was solo casting.
I can actually see that.
I make great conversations with myself. Nothing crazy about it at all.
Yeah,
I'm an interesting
no disagreements.
guy. You know the coolest thing about me? I like all the stuff that I like.
Really? Does that happen? Is that true?
That is true, yeah. So anything I talk about to myself, I'm like, that's really interesting, actually. Wow, you're cool.
So you're really surprised by the things that you tell yourself? You're like, hey, I have to tell you a secret.
Wow, that was a really cool PvP build. I'm like, oh my god, yeah, I know, right? So good. I love that build. I'm going to steal it. Me too.
You should actually record that at some point. Have a whole talk show, you know, do an episode of Meta, just talking to yourself, and you just duplicate the Skype call and you have yourself 4 times.
Not a bad idea. It can sound just like what's in our headphones right now, just an echo going around.
You had a Zerg circle already that we were talking to,
That's
now
right.
you have the Protoss circle.
I've been wanting to do that. It's kind of fun, actually.
Best idea for a special episode.
Yeah. Wow.
We had the same problem, by the way, yesterday with the MVP. He also had a few leg issues.
Yeah, I think we're probably just going to have to restart.
It looks like it.
I mean, doubt at 9 supply that they're going to resume from replay.
Yeah, that's most likely not going to happen. I mean, the only thing that I could have seen is that SOS maybe bounced back in the game, but what we have on screen right now is him dropping out.
Yeah, it's too bad Alicia has a tiny lead at 95 minerals against 90. I'd be really furious.
Yeah, losing that lead is always a big problem, especially in Protoss versus Protoss. Yeah. If you mine those first 5 minerals, then you are so far ahead.
Yeah. I don't know how he has that either, because the probes start on the bottom of the Nexus and he's on the top. How did that happen?
I think we actually have to leave that.
Do we?
I guess. No.
I don't know. Should we? Someone will tell us.
I'm not quite sure what that's going to tell them, but well.
What would that say in Korean? No, that wouldn't be a word. This is so funny.
Okay, so we are basically trying out if that actually works, like what's going on here, if we have to leave the game or whatever. Nobody told us anything. So I just type a few letters in the chat, and immediately the audience is don't chat here. Don't do that. Like,
yeah. All right, well,
but
you've
that
been
happens
reprimanded.
Sometimes, that everyone else leaves, or at least it happened in Warcraft. It was really annoying. Everyone dropped, and you didn't know, okay, do I have to leave it right now, or do they create a new lobby? What's going on here? And now, of course, the game has finally finished, but the ODGN observer was like, there's nothing on camera right now, we don't have the chat on screen, but still don't do it.
That is the feel that I got from that as well.
They are going to give me penalty points for that.
Uh-oh. Kaldor, you're never going to win WCS now.
You know, I was starting. I was actually trying to.
You were trying to win WCS?
Oh,
how many points do you have?
You just wait. Game number 1, Code A qualifier next season. You versus me.
Me versus you? Okay, let's do it. Damn. Artosis goes to round 2 finally. It's been a long time.
Did I mention arm wrestling?
In arm wrestling? No, that's not a race in StarCraft 2. What? Okay, so we're re-hosting that game on Akalon Waste.
We basically have an arm wrestling league here already.
What?
You didn't know? I arm wrestled Nest, MC, Choya, another guy from FXO. Every single time I'm back there,
that's literally a
league,
list of the weakest people I know next to Wolf. I am not impressed, Kaldor. I'm sorry.
Hey, Nest is actually good. Okay, you versus Nest. Seriously, I want to see that.
I can't.
He's
going to
kick your ass.
Anybody.
Why?
I'm a StarCraft player. What? I don't arm wrestle. That's crazy talk.
I want to see that. I'm going to record that and put.
No, I'll do like a thumb war. 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare thumb war. No problem. You have bigger thumbs than me. This isn't fair. This isn't fair.
Imbalanced.
Well, you're going like that and digging your nails into my hand. No, forget this, Kaldor. We need a real set of rules. Okay. So
we're still waiting for SOS to join. So actually, it looks like it wasn't only a client problem; it was probably really a PC problem. One of the players yesterday got a complete new PC because it was lagging. That's,
really?
I think MVP. I'm not quite sure.
Oh, okay.
They also had one of the issues when Alicia was playing that apparently the game speed was wrong. Audience is suddenly starting to do rock, paper, scissors.
I'm not surprised. That happens sometimes. Okay, looks like we are going to start this game. It is on Aklon Waste.
No resume replay.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. It turns out that Alicia's okay losing that 5-mineral lead. We'll see if he gets it again. But
we are jumping back into the game, guys.
Let's do
game number 2 between Alicia and SOS is going live here on Aquilon. Starting to the top left for Team Axiom.
Axiom Alicia from America.
Asterisk. Actually from Korea. Qualified through America.
Yeah. To the bottom right, a full-fledged Korean this time. Without the lag, we have, of course,
Wongjin Stars SOS from Korea.
SOS currently being in a 1-0 lead against his opponent here. Took the first game. The defense for Alicia. He didn't really identify what kind of build he was facing. He did not put up that wall with the gateways, that building wall that we talked about, and neither did he really control his units very well. Had those Immortals there. Targeted the Zealots, didn't help him too much in the fight, and SOS therefore takes the first win in the game.
But that game is in the past, and Alicia does have that 5-mineral lead, so we are back off to a good start for him. Same position and all. Now, this map is... I don't like this map as much for the really fast expand with Mothership Core. I really, really don't, because that ramp is so far away that you don't completely cover it, you know? I consider completely cover that a Sentry cannot force field it without the Mothership Core, the Nexus cannon being able to hit the Sentry. And on this map, a Sentry can do that. So this one is one where I think you're basically pretty safe doing a more aggressive build, right? Like opening up something like we saw both players do last game.
We actually saw on this map in the last few games that at least I casted in the round of Code A and also, of course, in the WCS, in the up and downs.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of aggressive builds, ranging from blink builds to going into early DTs. It's really kind of funny how a few players really will now massively use DTs, try to make that happen. And we had so many quick games, like you don't go for any kind of detection, you just execute a little bit of pressure, try to get your base, suddenly you see the blur on the map and you're like, okay, GG, this game is over.
Yeah.
So many of those games just ending in an instant.
That's right. You know, a quick DT build is so powerful because even if they went detection, if the detection isn't in position, you can actually get enough damage done. Like, really, if you get a DT in the base and sometimes their units are outside and they force you the ramp wing, so you go and you kill a Sentry or two, and you're like, well, this is already paid for itself.
Yeah, it's really strong. The Inca Memorial build, always a really strong thing to fall back onto. I was actually surprised that Inca didn't announce, okay, I'm coming back into StarCraft 2 when Heart of the Swarm was announced. He saw those changes.
Doesn't he technically still play? I thought he's like on a Zuba or something.
I think, didn't he play in the last Code A qualifier?
I don't know
I
if
think he actually did.
I'm not sure.
But the problem is,
DT builds are better.
You still know what he's going to do.
Yeah, that is true.
Alicia, once again, going into the Stargate. It's the same opening that he showed us in game number 1, going for the Stargate build here. So far, for SOS, we don't have the tech choice. He doesn't go down the same path. We will have him with the expansion here.
Wow, okay. So he's actually opening with a fast expansion with a Sentry as opposed to a Mothership Core. And what this means is he's not going to go Robo. He's probably going to go for a Twilight. That's my guess here, because you want to get the quick Sentry to be able to scout the hallucination immediately, because otherwise you simply die to something like, well, a lot of different all-ins I guess you could die to, but you need to know what's going on.
How happy are you about the hallucination changes that they made?
They had to do it. Like, I don't know how I ever played before. Wow, he's actually going to go right into the Robo.
Yeah, that's the
I'm
Robo.
Actually a little bit surprised, but okay. That's cool.
So first of all, with the Sentry, he can of course go straight into the hallucinated Phoenix, trying to find out what's going on in Alicia's main base. At this point, SOS doesn't know about the Stargate opening, and with the added robotics, he can also get his observers out there, which is of course also a safe choice against DTs, for example. So we had the scout, we had in the last game already SOS showing DTs. Alicia could have done it here, and then I guess if you only go into the Twilight, you don't have detection on the map, so a little bit safer here with the robotics to have at least that.
Well, we'll see what these Phoenixes can get done. You know, Phoenixes are... the Phoenix openings have been around for a long time. And, ooh, he's actually going right into Robo 2 before the expand. So this is actually a pretty good spot for SOS, I want to say, because his Nexus is going to be so much quicker. But that's okay if you're good with the Phoenixes, because you can pick off enough probes to get it even.
Yeah. We have the extra gateways now coming in for SOS after he has the robotics, of course, getting the production up so that he can defend, and he needs definitely something. With the Phoenixes, if you're a player that is really meticulous about it, you are going to lose quite a lot, especially when you bounce between the two bases. So far, we don't see a lot of probes on the natural for SOS for that very much reason, but now with the transition coming in, Mothership Core has to be really careful though.
And he's actually going for the Mothership Core. Does force that Nexus cannon. I think that's exactly what he wanted to do. Yep. And he does have some damage on it, so his next swoop by will be nice.
You could really see that SOS for a second was really thinking about not using the Photon Overcharge here and saving up the energy, but then he realized that it would probably be too close, even with the stalks that he warped in. So that's definitely the safer option. Saves the Mothership Core for now, but of course loses the extra energy.
Yep. Now, we do have 3 Phoenixes out, and that's enough to really harass the probes quite heavily. But how many Stalkers will SOS make? And if he does make a lot of Stalkers, of course, that is going to lure Alicia into making quite a few Immortals. That's why this build can work out against a faster expand, because either they lose a lot of probes or they invest a lot in Stalkers that you don't really want as you hit the late game.
And talking about the probes here, in terms of economy with the faster Nexus, SOS is of course already ahead in the Harvest account, has a really good economy to fall back onto. Alicia is getting... oh, he needs to be careful here with those Phoenixes.
Taking a little bit more damage than he really wanted. He has a lot of lift energy there. He just hasn't been able to pick anything off. The defense of SOS has been quite stellar so far.
Yeah, SOS is getting the faster upgrades. He has his own Immortals on the way. He has the better economy. His position is really good right now against Alicia.
And SOS actually going for his own Stargate. That's kind of interesting. A lot of times when someone opens Stargate, you can counter it with 2 Stargates, but making 1, I don't see this as often.
Yeah. What do you think he's going to do here? Just trying to fight fire with fire, or will we have a bit of a variation?
Well, you know what? I'm not exactly sure. I mean, we could see like a single Oracle, but I don't think that's it. Could he possibly go up... see, I'm thinking Void Ray, right? But could he possibly go up to Tempest and go 1 Stargate Tempest? Because Tempest, they kill Colossus pretty dead.
We've seen a lot of Tempests actually being used in conjunction with your own Colossi. So once you're going to Colossi tech first, you're Colossi versus Colossi, and one player makes the choice to go into the Stargate and then tries to get the Tempest out as an addition. But so far, I actually haven't seen that without any Colossi support at all. But there's the Fleet Beacon.
So, see, this is why I love SOS. He really does have his own style, his own strats, and that's the type of thing I would expect to see out of him, right? Is go ahead, grab that really quick Tempest, and maybe use, I don't know, a more Immortal focus army, like Charge, Archon, Storm, Tempest, something like that?
Yeah, maybe. Getting the extra Oracle out there, could try to sneak past those Phoenixes and get into the middle line first. Well, let's see what he's going to do as soon as we have the Tempest in the game. He needs something to support them, that much for sure. And we already have the range upgrade for Alicia. So Alicia going down the more traditional way to play this.
Yeah. Now he is grabbing an Immortal as well as a Twilight, just kind of getting all the bases covered, all the techs out, and in fact both players are at this moment doing so.
And talking about all the bases covered, we have a third one coming up here for SOS, trying to take a third very soon. So if he's playing defensive here, then he can actually be in a really good spot with those Tempests. That's usually what you see. If one player goes in the Tempest, I mean, when have you last seen a Tempest timing where a player moves out with the first 2 Tempests and wins the game? They're so slow.
I haven't seen it, but I'm ready to.
Yeah, I'm ready to see it, but I don't really think with how slow they are, you will actually see that all too often.
Yeah, no, I don't think you will either, but I'm ready to see it. And we could see it once he gets his third a little bit saturated and he really gets his upgrades going right. He's going to have his +2 attack, he's going to have his charge, and he's going to have enough Tempest that he can actually wreck Colossus in a matter of seconds.
Yeah. Oh, the Oracle getting a decent amount of hits here. I mean, the Warpin is good, but the Oracle already 3 kills, 4 taking down a 5th. That is already paying off big time. 7 kills, 8 going up to 9.
Wow, you can't tell me that that wasn't worth in the mid-game. If you're going Tempest anyways, that one Oracle, that was nice.
That was really good. I mean, at this point, the Harvest account is 45 against 51.
And look at that supply differential. But don't forget, a lot of that supply is in Zealots right now. So it still remains to be seen exactly how this will go. You know, the thing is, Alicia really isn't scouting this. Does he realize? I have to actually go and check to make sure. Because I don't think he has any idea what's really going. He saw the fleet beacon on the way.
Yeah, he spotted it.
So, I mean, when you realize that they're going Tempest, like, straight away, it's a hard choice. Like, we should be seeing him get, you know, either Blink upgrade, maybe Void Rays, you know, something here. Now, the Blink isn't necessarily the best because he's backing up those Tempests, like predicted, with Charge Lots and some Immortals. So, in this case, I really do feel like he needs to maybe throw up a second Stargate and get some Void Rays going. He needs something to counteract this.
He doesn't have a lot of anti-air here. We have him still with those initial Phoenixes, and he has a couple of Stalkers, but as already pointed out, if you blink underneath the Tempest, I mean, their range is incredible. If you blink in, you will blink right into a lot of Zealots, you will blink into the Immortals, and your Stalkers are just going to melt away here. But he doesn't really do a lot to counter this. Going into Dark Shrine right now.
Yeah, I see what's going on. Okay, this is actually really smart from Alicia. He stopped at 1 Colossi. So he's spending all his gas right now on Archon. So Archon Zealot against Immortal Zealot Tempest is going to do very well. He's actually, I do like the unit composition he's making. What I'm afraid about is SOS just has a lot more supply right now. So Alicia needs to not engage yet, but the route he's going down seems fine to me.
Alicia has a really well-positioned observer right at his opponent's doorstep, so he knows exactly about the composition. But we have really a huge supply advantage here for SAS. He was just much faster with his natural. He went into the third base faster. He took down all those harvesters earlier with the Oracle. So his economy position is so good. He gets those upgrades out immediately, and he has a massive amount of structures just to back this up and warp in additional units once the fight started.
And they're both going up to 10 gates right now. So we're about to see the macro really kick in. Alicia should catch up on the supply reasonably quickly, and I really want to see a lot of Zealots popping out for him, because that's what I'm most afraid about, is a good count of Immortals. He's getting up to the Archon levels he really needs, but he really needs a lot more Zealots in there right now.
Sees the DTs, tries to force field them, but is not able to just catch them. Needs to have another observer, and SOS is already getting it. But that was really sexy to see him just use those force fields and trying to block that DT. It wasn't quite happening, but he didn't even have vision of it. He just saw the blur on the map.
And he actually does have the observer out now, chasing him a little bit. Of course, he's going to have to warp in some units at home to deal with it.
Yeah,
and the observer's way far away.
He brings the observer to the top left. He doesn't actually move it back.
This DT is a badass.
Yeah, the DT might kill everything here.
Alright, well, here we go. There's now a clock right now on Alicia. He's going to have to move out pretty soon here.
This range is incredible, and here we go. Alicia, he knows that he has to commit, and he's moving in immediately. This is all coming down to the unit control. Double time warp going down for both players here.
That's right. All these Archons doing a lot of damage, but he is stuck underneath, and those Tempests are going to town right now, just shot after shot. But Alicia's DT has gotten so many kills. If he can somehow kill this army off, even if it's a trade, army for army, he's going to be in a great spot.
Army supply, on the other hand, 130 against 94. The economy of SAS is in terrace in the main base, but here comes the fight once again, and all those Tempests are focusing down unit after unit, whereas the ground army of SAS is providing cover and moving in. The Archons at the front here. Alicia being pushed back and dropping in supply. He's down 50 already.
Now, a really interesting unit composition coming out of SOS here, and GG, he does take out Alicia. I gotta say, I liked the idea of what Alicia was doing there, but Void Rays may have been a little bit of a better choice just based upon the amount of Immortals that were being made to make sure that Blink Stalkers couldn't eventually kill off all the Tempests.
The one thing that I really have to say is that I feel that especially the macro of his opponent was so much better. SOS had always a huge lead in supply, and especially in economy. He was so much better set up. He could have get all his upgrades out and also the additional attack. So that was something where Alicia was really having a hard time catching up.
All right, well, we're going to go ahead and jump to a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back with what may be the conclusion of this side of the bracket of the round of 8.